What's up guys, today's video is on the top 3 best Sony cameras in 2024. Through extensive research and testing I've put together a list of options that'll meet the needs of different types of buyers, so whether it's price, performance or its particular use, we've got you covered. For more information on the products I've included links in the description box down below which are updated for the best prices. Now let's get started. Number 3. Sony ZV D1. The tiny Sony ZV-E1 is the most capable of vlogging camera available and is overkill for most content creators, but it will likely surface on more serious video productions too, thanks to its clean 4K video image quality in any light, plus superb in-body image stabilization and autofocus. It also offers a simple control layout and AI smarts that make life easy for modest crews and hint at how cameras are likely to evolve. Cameras designed for vlogging should be easy to carry and operate, and the ZV D1 hits the mark. It's Sony's smallest and lightest full-frame camera with in-body image stabilization, with a similar form factor to the Sony A7C, which includes a decent grip and a plastic but durable body. There's also the dumbed-down button layout of other Sony ZV cameras, which includes a defocus button and photo or video S&Q mode switch. The Sony ZV-E1 is a video-centric full-frame camera that brings together multiple worlds, the simple handling of Sony's ZV range of cameras designed for vlogging and content creators, with a sprinkling of Sony Cine camera grunt and Sony's best quality consumer-level 4K video. As such, it's set to be the best vlogging camera around, even if it's a little overkill for most people. With a few additional AI tricks up its sleeve, too, the Sony ZV-E1 is further proof that AI is evolving how our cameras work. The integration of AI-powered features includes auto-framing, which crops into the full image and then intelligently tracks your subject as they move around within that full image area, giving the perception that the camera is human-operated. Super smart stuff. Auto-framing is such a neat trick that I can see modest crews using it to add value to productions, simplify the shooting setup and speed up workflow in post. Otherwise, the ZV-E1 only has a single SD card slot, which will put off serious filmmakers that demand the peace of mind that comes from simultaneously recording onto 2 cards. A supercharged dynamic image stabilization UPS the ante over Sony's active image stabilization. It crops more heavily into the image at around 2x, but provides some of the smoothest handheld footage I've seen outside of using a gimbal, provided you're shooting with a wide-angle lens. Again, a feature that makes life on set simpler, and marks the ZV-E1 as a supreme camera for creating handheld videos. Number 2. Sony A7R V. A bit like Coen Brothers movies, Sony cameras can be good and then great, alternating between the two. But with the A7R V, it's safe to say that it's in the great category, and maintains the position of the highest resolution full-frame mirrorless camera available. However, while some features are geared towards sport and wildlife, it doesn't offer the burst rates of the A9 II, and video is good, being the newest model on the block, and offering some impressive specs. The A7R V ultimately has little to worry about, despite not providing the highest performance in all areas. Features include a new 61MP sensor and Beyond's XR processing engine, up to 8 stops of in-body image stabilization, increased burst shooting and AI-powered subject recognition to improve autofocus. Then there's video capture up to 8K at 24 frames per second and 4K up to 60 frames per second. Image quality is, as you'd hope, excellent for both photos and video. But with the high-resolution sensor, you'll need to use Sony's best lenses in the G and GM ranges with the resolving power to complement the camera. Sony released the first high-resolution full-frame mirrorless camera, the A7R, back in 2013, and we've had an updated model every couple of years since, culminating in the 5th iteration of the series, the A7R V. A lot has changed in the camera since then in terms of the ergonomics, handling and, of course, the technology employed. But with more rivals on the scene now, the A7R V is up against some stiff competition from the likes of the Canon EOS R5 and Nikon Z7 II. While the A7R IV didn't offer a great deal more to entice A7R III owners to upgrade, the A7R V aims to address the deficiencies of its predecessor, and is a much more well-rounded camera overall. The improvements Sony has implemented, alongside the inclusion of some welcome new features, make it significantly more attractive, whether you're upgrading from an earlier model or switching to Sony from another brand. Number 1. Sony A7 IV. The Sony A7 IV is the best hybrid mirrorless camera you can buy right now. A truly modern all-rounder that largely justifies its price tag, it packs class-leading autofocus, impressive image quality and powerful video features into one versatile body. Dedicated street or sports photographers should look elsewhere, and it isn't the fastest shooter in its class. But for everyone else, the A7 IV is a rock-solid all-rounder with few glaring weaknesses. It might be the only camera you ever need. The Sony A7 IV is the best mirrorless all-rounder you can buy right now. It isn't as powerful as the Sony A1, as fast as the Canon EOS R6, or as affordable as the Fujifilm X-T4, but it does offer a brilliant blend of photographic power and video versatility. By effectively combining two cameras in one, it's the best example so far of the hybrid convenience that modern mirrorless cameras can offer. The Sony A7 IV might look like a clone of its predecessor, but there are quite a few subtle upgrades that collectively make it a much more enjoyable camera to use. On the top you'll find an improved electronic viewfinder, EVF, with a 3.69 million dot resolution and 120 frames per second refresh rate. While this is now fairly standard at this price, you'll find an almost identical viewfinder on the Canon EOS R6. It is a much-needed upgrade and performs particularly well when you're trying to track moving subjects. The Sony A7 IV isn't quite the game-changer that its predecessor was for full-frame mirrorless cameras, but its upgrades bring it close to the Canon EOS R6, which means it's a fine choice for everyone from wildlife shooters to wedding photographers. As we discovered in the features section above, the Sony A7 IV isn't a true speed demon when it comes to burst shooting. Sony's decision to boost its resolution to 33 MP has effectively cancelled out any power gains of its new processor, which means it offers the same 10 frames per second top speed as the A7 III. That extra resolution is handy for those who like to regularly crop into their photos, but in general the A7 IV's improvements are geared more towards versatility rather than absolute image quality. Thanks for watching. Like the video and don't forget to subscribe.